Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. The ETF, today is the final day for getting those filings correct. And we've got that and so much more. You're going to want to see it all. They're trying to stop crypto. We won't let them. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. And just as a reminder today, we're going to be touching in the Freedom Zone, the Trojan horse to keep the war machine and censorship humming. You're going to want to see this very candid clip inside the Freedom Zone. We wouldn't dare touch it on this channel. Right now, we're looking at $1.76 trillion market cap for crypto, 0.4% off on the 24-hour, 42,800 for Bitcoin, 2,300 and change for Ethereum, 91.5 billion plus for Tether. XRP is 63 cents, off by 0.3% in the 24-hour, up by 2.2 on the 7-day. Range of price between 0.6228 on the bottom and 0.6366 on the top. Pretty tight trading range at the moment. And if you haven't done it, let me tell you what, I'm getting ready to take advantage of my iTrust Capital account because I've just set up a SEP IRA for me because I'm self-employed, as well as my actual Roth. So I'm very excited to be able to put some money into this thing, especially as we close out the end of the year here. If you haven't taken advantage and taken empowerment of your own IRA, your retirement, this is the single best offering. Buy and sell crypto, gold and silver with your IRAs in your back office, 401ks, 403bs, 457s. It can all be rolled over. If you just had a job change for whatever reason, you need to do something with your 401k, empower yourself and go with iTrust. Check out my sponsor underneath the video. We start right here, ladies and gentlemen. EWarren back on the news, Fox Business right here. I'm not going to give you all of this, but I want to grab a couple clips out of this that you need to see, because this is what Senator Elizabeth Warren has been doing, which is really lying to senators, other senators, and the American people. That's right, all of us. Take a listen to this first clip.
All asking. So I want to bring in an expert on the space. EWarren is the founder and CEO of the Chamber of Digital Commerce. EWarren, great to talk to you today. So I want to start with that Senator Warren backed bill. It is the Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act. It has bipartisan support. It would crack down on the space by introducing a number of restrictions that banks, traditional banks, are used to, like know your customer laws. There's been a lot of pushback that this would destroy the industry in the U.S. So first I want to get your take. What could this mean for crypto?
Yeah, hey Kelly, it's great to be here. Senator Elizabeth Warren has misled the American people as well as the U.S. Congress on multiple fronts. First, she's misled us to believe that crypto has an AML problem. It does not have an AML problem. The vast majority of illicit finance goes through the traditional financial system and legacy banking infrastructure. It's not happening in the cryptocurrency space. And the reason being is because every single crypto transaction is logged on a public ledger called the blockchain, and law enforcement has greater tools to track and trace on a blockchain than they do on legacy infrastructure. So that's misleading claim number one from Senator Warren. Number two is about her bill. This bill was introduced under the guise of anti-money laundering to fix these non-existent compliance gaps for crypto. She has misled the U.S. Senate, and now 20% of the U.S. Senate is sponsoring this bill that they think is going to address a compliance issue. But if you read the legislation, you'll quickly understand that the requirements are technically impossible to implement in a blockchain-based environment, making it illegal for U.S. persons to use this technology, which effectively bans it for U.S. persons. This would be absolutely detrimental to our space. The false and misleading statements that have been perpetuated by a sitting member of the U.S. Senate, Elizabeth Warren, must be taken seriously, and the Senate Ethics Committee should launch a full investigation on this as well.
So, EWarren, I also want to get your take on this. So one of
And let me skip ahead right now to the next section of this. And obviously, this is Senator Marshall, who really was saying at this particular event here that the bill was a light touch bill, which is a lie, right? And that he didn't know much about the bill because the Bank Association wrote the bill.
Anti-Money Laundering Act that represents a step in the right direction. Again, I think that this is a light touch. The first thing we did is we went to the American Bank Association and said, help us craft this. And I don't know if you saw Senator Warren's hearing with Jamie Dimon yesterday, but Mr. Dimon said basically, in his opinion, crypto is only a tool for criminals.
Okay, so my first thought here is the American Bank Association. I mean, they went...
Now, very quickly, we know that this narrative of crypto's only for criminals, this is still where mainstream media and Capitol Hill largely are with their mindset here. That's why it is so very important that we support the Chamber of Digital Commerce and their initiative to protect all of us in crypto innovation. Keep listening.
Went to them to craft this legislation. They're known as being very anti-crypto. What is your thought about the fact that you have these two folks working together with something that would impact the entire industry?
We have met with all 19 Senate offices that have sponsored this bill. Many of those offices were shocked to understand that this bill that they signed on to actually bans the technology altogether. This video of Senator Roger Marshall, he calls it a light touch approach. Clearly, either he doesn't understand or he's misrepresenting. How is something that's a ban a light touch? And it was very shocking that he also shared publicly that it was a bank lobby that wrote this bill. I think it.
And there you have it right there, right? So appreciate the continued efforts from Perry Ann Boring and the Chamber of Digital Commerce, no doubt about it. And we have got to work together. I will put the link to stop the crypto ban underneath of this video. You can show your support there, or you can go to XRPLasVegas.com and buy your ticket for XRP Las Vegas, and also buy your ticket to attend the Future of Digital Asset Benefit Dinner, which will be a charitable donation for your ticket that you can write off as a tax write-off and help support the commerce and be able to sit and break bread with Brad Garlinghouse, Michael Arrington, John Deaton, and the Honorable Chris Giancarlo. That's absolutely right. All right, now let's keep this moving here because we know that there's other things that are in this news today that we've got to cover here. Mark Cuban very quickly talked about all you need to know is that Howey test was not enough to cover every situation, so the Reeves test came along. Now there's a need for a crypto complement to Howey and Reeves. Now he goes on to say more than that, but you know I couldn't help but say, and he goes on to highlight that the SEC is really not helping to protect anyone. It's a joke. And I said, the Reeves test, you say, right? You know, shout out to Maverick. You said it all along, Brad. You know, look, the Reeves test is going to play an important role because we know that there are, and I thought it would be Ripple over XRP, but it hasn't turned out to be that as of yet. And I believe this fight goes to the Supreme Court, so I don't take it off the table. But it's certainly not been the argument up until now, even though some of Reeves and Ernst & Young findings in law case precedent has been used as an example. But there will be other cases that fall under the Reeves test more than the Howey test. So just remember that is extremely relevant, and the fight continues getting clarity, and it doesn't stop here. We know that Dao Quan from Terra Luna had been arrested, but look at what's going on here, because this from Eleanor Terrett as she shares Blockworks. The SEC just scored a victory in its case against Dao Quan and Terraform Labs. This is what you need to know. Now, we know Judge Rakoff, who can be quite a lightning rod in the legal world, right? This is what we know. Eleanor Terrett says this passage highlights the key difference between Terraform Labs case and the Ripple case. But beginning in March of 2021, holders of US Terra could deposit their tokens in the Anchor protocol, which defendants' efforts developed and which Quan himself publicly announced would generate by far the highest stablecoin yield in the market with a target of 20% fixed APR. Rakoff said that Quan's repeated statements led investors to believe that they could make a profit due to the efforts of Terraform to develop its blockchain. Rakoff was easily able to establish that retail sales of UST Luna with Wrap Luna and MIR satisfied the Howey test as an investment contract with Terraform Labs, while Judge Torres was unable to prove that one existed between Ripple and non-institutional purchasers of XRP. So now you can see where the conundrum is for the space itself. Had Rakoff not come to this decision, there would only be one decision to inform the space, which would be Judge Annalisa Torres' decision that XRP in and of itself to retail investors and secondary retail market is not a security. However, with Judge Rakoff finding this, now the decision is split. And now other cases, when they come before the court, have got to look at these two scenarios and say which one is more applicable to the current case that's in front of me. This is where the SEC still has their foot in the door to be able to cast a huge shadow over this entire market until we get legislation. And here we see this as Congressman Tom Emmer and Ohio Congressman Warren Davidson are co-leading the SEC stabilization bill to remove Chairman Gary Gensler from the Securities Exchange Commission. I would anticipate if you're going to do this, it might be great time to ask for that subpoena or to submit that subpoena that we've heard so much about. Meanwhile, while we wait, today is the final day to get your filings corrected and put in to the SEC. ARC21 Shares filed its Fifth Amendment to its spot Bitcoin ETF with the SEC. Final one before approval. That's what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. Then we see this. Good morning and happy Friday. Today is the SEC's deadline for spot Bitcoin ETF issuers to file their amended S1s. Expect to see some filing activity today in preparation for approvals that could come as early as next week. Okay, bring it on now. We're ready to see the market move. And then here's Van Eck, who's ready to see the market move too as they wait for their approval of their spot Bitcoin ETF. There it is. They're all lining up. They're ready to go, aren't they? And then Chad Steingreiber says it here, and I couldn't agree more. Tell me with a straight face that Grayscale isn't about to reboot their XRP ETF fund. Why wouldn't they? We know it's not a security. Why wouldn't they do it? And here's what the chart's saying when you're looking at XRP against BTC chart. Crypto Toast says, here's what happened the last time XRP and BTC closed below the significant trend line. A close back above by Sunday night could possibly be a great way to celebrate the new year. We'll update, he says. Shout out to Crypto Toes. But this is what we saw last time it touched and the pop that we got out of it. Where it goes, nobody knows, but it's worth watching because we're at that critical point right there. If you'll join us in the Freedom Zone, we're going to reveal to you, without the concern of censorship and being silenced, the Trojan horse, ladies and gentlemen, to keep the war machine and censorship going, which is why the Freedom Zone exists to begin with. All you got to do is click the link underneath the video for digperspectives.com or go to digperspectives.com and click on the Freedom Zone and join us inside. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.